Hello. So here I am again recording videos because I'm stressed, but it has helped me quite a lot in the past, honestly, and I'm going to do it again right now because I have a plan to take my recent neurology report into my family doctor with some edits to it, so that this incorrect material on my report doesn't follow me like what has happened in the past with incorrect material on reports. But the problem is I need to stay at this clinic because I do have MS now and I have to get the drugs for it, and again, I still don't know how to inject them, but they're sitting in my fridge. But anyway, so I've got my neurology report opened on my phone, and I am going to, actually I think I'm going to read it and then address, I don't know how long this will take, I'm going to address the things wrong as I come across them, and I may skip certain things because I'm only going to address the things that I think really need to be corrected, which I think is still going to seem like a whole lot of things, and just the whole report itself is incorrect, so this is hard. Anyway, so let's begin. Yeah, this is my most recent neurology report, and it was from March. Dear doctors, we saw Kristen in the MS clinic today for new consultation and discussion of therapeutic modalities. To date, she has had no medical therapy for multiple sclerosis. Kristen is a 37-year-old female with a diagnosis of MS in 2018. Her symptoms began in 2008 with a tingling and numbness, as well as electric pain in both legs extending from her feet to her hips. Her paresthesias and balance concerns have worsened over the past year. The symptoms vary in intensity throughout the day, and she finds that occasionally her feet fall asleep while walking. Actually, it's like all the time. Last year, she fell asleep on her left arm. When she woke up, she felt numbness globally in the arm, which has not resolved. At the same time, she has had a diagnosis of optic neuritis. She was not treated with steroids for this. Okay, so, they're saying my MS symptoms began in 2008, which is incorrect. Those symptoms were, I believe, 100%. They were symptoms of occult tethered spinal cord, which is not a condition that is recognized in Canada. And I think what he's describing here are still symptoms of occult tethered spinal cord and not symptoms of MS, apart from the left arm, which began in 2018. Okay, so I don't think my MS events really started till 2018. 2017, sorry. Definitely not 2008. So that's wrong. Okay. Next paragraph. Previously, she suffered from chronic headaches, that's what it says, possibly secondary to her Chiari malformation. In 2014, she had surgery on her skull and cervical spine, and her headaches have improved dramatically since then. However, since the surgery, she has found increasing dependence on a cane for ambulation in terms of balance, fatigue, and pain. She now walks intermittently with a walker for the past 2.5 years and uses a wheelchair periodically. She has applied for a motorized wheelchair. She finds that she cannot stand or walk for as long as previously. She is limited by both pain and fatigue. With regard to her balance, she finds she intermittently loses balance and falls to the ground. This is occasionally, but not always, preceded by a sensation of lightheadedness. She does not report any loss of consciousness or other symptoms with these episodes. I don't lose balance when I'm lightheaded. I get lightheaded because I have postural orthostatic tachycardia, which they don't understand at this clinic, and that makes me feel lightheaded when I'm walking and sometimes makes me lose balance, but then I also have lost some hearing in my ear. I was using walkers and wheelchairs, well, wheelchair and a cane sometimes like, it's not because of my surgery. I needed those things before the surgery. It's just that after the surgery, I felt so much more delicate because I was healing. So that is when I started to, like, more, like, not feel bad about using mobility aids. So I just came to terms with the reality of it, that I needed to use them for a long time. It isn't like I went and had brain surgery and then I all of a sudden needed to depend on a walker, but I feel like that's what this is saying, and that's what I get a lot from doctors in Canada. Because I got treatment in the States, they like to insinuate that it was a bad idea, but I thought I was going to die if I didn't get it. Anyway, next paragraph. She describes her mood as all over the place. She feels sad and depressed. She does not have any current or previous suicidality. However, she did engage in self-cutting in high school. Yeah, like, I don't know why I said that to him, because he was digging and digging and digging for things. And if I have any mental health, okay, all of my current mental health problems are due to the way I am being treated by the medical community. I had a break-in attempt 5 years ago that I went to counseling for years, that I feel like I have, in essence, for the most part, recovered from, which is saying a lot. So I've had a lot of trauma. I think I mentioned this in my last video. If anybody who is looking at this looked at that, I have a note from a psychiatrist saying I don't need a psychiatrist because I have a lot of medical trauma and what I need is more help from doctors. But again, really concerned about the fact that I engaged in self-cutting in high school. I was also being raped, like, for 4 years in high school by my boyfriend. Yeah, like, my boyfriend at the time in high school, who was abusive. That's why I was engaging in self-cutting, like extreme bullying and extreme bad, sexually abusive relationship. But anyway, I digress. She states that she has constant dull pain in most areas all the time. Yeah, okay. Currently, she describes pain in the left side at the base of her skull, her left shoulder, and trapezius. She also points at her left bicipital groove. She describes this pain as constant sensation of digging in. She also complains of frequent muscle cramping in her calves and thighs, which is worsened by walking. Her left arm seizes up with pain periodically. She feels that her left arm and both of her legs are weak, even in the absence of pain. I'll just leave that. She has tried various modalities for her pain, including TENS, taping, craniosacral massage, the latter of which seems to be the most helpful. I still use the TENS sometimes. She sees a physiotherapist. Actually, no, I don't, because I can't find one that won't hurt me. She finds that she has severe cramping during menstruation, which radiates through both legs. Review of systems is otherwise unremarkable. Okay, I don't even remember saying that. Yeah, when I get my period cramps go into my legs because my legs are already sore and my back is already sore, and it goes into all those areas. Like, it's because, like, pain has a memory and it's just what happens. And I really don't think it has anything to do with anything wrong with that system. Anyway, main MS symptoms. Left, it must mean arm. Left ram, fatigability, burning pain, balance difficulties, paresthesias in legs. I think the paresthesias in my legs are my occult tether cord that my neurosurgeon in the States said I most likely have in 2014. Nobody cares about that. But I'm quite sure that's what this is. There's no surgical treatment for it. I don't think it is at all an MS symptom. I've had it for way too long, like most of my life. And I don't think I've had MS most of my life because I didn't have lesions till a couple years ago. Hi, kitty. You're very funny, kitty. You're like digging your chubby legs into my sore leg. Okay, whatever. You're so cute. Okay, you're just a little distracting. Other symptoms: neurogenic bladder, no nocturia. I do have nocturia. It's on my other reports. I get up to pee through the night. Moderate urgency and frequency. Nah, it's serious urgency and frequency. Mild hesitancy. Nah, serious hesitancy. No frequent UTIs, severe fatigue, and poor endurance. Depressive symptoms? Fuck you. Chronic pain. The depressive symptoms are your fucking fault. Multifactorial FM, EDS, MS. Okay. So fibromyalgia, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and multiple sclerosis. That's what they've put they put fibromyalgia first. Past medical history: fibromyalgia 2010, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome 2011, Ramsay-Hunt syndrome 2013. I'm skipping over some stuff. Multiple sclerosis 2018, postural orthostatic tachycardia. Wow, they actually wrote that down. Wow, I didn't know that. That's good of them that they wrote that down. Current medications: acetaminophen, naproxen, propranolol, quetiapine, Flexeril, cannabis. Previous medications: something I don't recognize. I don't need to read all my previous medications. Social history. Let's get into this one. Kristen lives with a roommate and her dog. Nope, I don't live with a roommate. I live alone. She is currently not working, having previously worked in retail in 2010. She has a degree in gender studies. She's currently on ODSP. She lives with a roommate and her dog. Nope. Boyfriend's over a lot. Doesn't live with me. I don't have a roommate. I do have a dog. Her typical day involves taking the dog for a walk, trying to stay comfortable in her recliner, going to appointments, and doing whatever activities she can, including washing the dishes. I love washing the dishes. Does not smoke cigarettes, drinks alcohol only occasionally, and drinks 3 cups of coffee a day. And I wish he didn't write this down because I don't drink 3 cups of coffee a day. I said to him, he was asking me about fatigue and attention issues, and I drink coffee sometimes in the morning so that I can make phone calls and think and stuff. And I think I said to him, sometimes I drink up to 3 cups, but I never feel like it's totally waking me up, and like to me 3 cups is bad. And he was just like, that's okay. And it's like, no, I really don't want to be drinking 3 cups of coffee a day. And I don't. It's like today I had 2. Like, that's what I'm saying. On bad days, I might have 3 cups. That means it's a bad day. To me, that indicates it's a bad day. I can't, like, I have serious brain fog if I'm drinking 3 cups of coffee, and probably one of those bad low-pressure headaches, because I've noticed coffee really helps with those. So if it's raining, I'm probably drinking coffee that morning. I'm just concerned because my family doctor really hates coffee. She's going to read this. Observations and examination. In clinic today, Kristen was awake, alert, and in no distress. She is accompanied by her mother, who lives 5 hours away. She ambulates with the use of cane and a 4-wheeled walker. However, she is able to ambulate within the examination room when asked. Her gait is minimally unsteady. Tandem gait is unsteady. Romberg is positive. Tandem stance is positive. Cranial nerves are normal except for decreased and light touch sensation in the right-sided V2 and V3 distribution. There is no pronator drift. There is no ataxia or dysmetria. Grip strong and equal bilaterally. Power is 5 out of 5. Globally, reflexes are okay. This is just listing all the stuff that's normal. Decreased light touch sensation in the feet bilaterally, otherwise normal. No decreased there's decreased vibration sense in the great toe bilaterally. Normal at the ankle bilaterally. Vibration is normal in the hands. Mental status exam, normal mood and affect, although briefly tearful when describing her struggles and frustrations. No evidence of psychosis or mania. Investigations. MRI of the brain and C-spine, November 2018. Lesion on the left side of the spinal cord approximately at the C2, C3 level. MRI of brain, 2017. Periventricular lesion, right pontine cerebellar peduncle, left temporal lesion. Impression and plan. Kristen is a 37-year-old lady with relapsing remitting multiple sclerosis. We reviewed her phenotype. She was initially diagnosed with primary progressive multiple sclerosis, but we believe she has had at least 2 discrete relapses in the past 2 years with MRI correlations of MS in keeping with RRMS. Yay. My other neurologist told me I was doomed. He was like, you have a very aggressive progressive form of MS. And he wouldn't give me access to any of these RRMS medications, and I do have RRMS. So that is one excellent thing this clinic has done, and that is why I need to stay with this clinic, even though they are so dumb with EDS. And I don't mean to say dumb, that's ableist. I'm frustrated. Complex interplay of comorbidities clouding her disease course over the years. True. Long-standing chronic pain, which is multifactorial and causing most of her symptoms and disabilities and likely to impact her overall functioning in the future. Plan. By the end of our appointment today, Kristen was feeling fatigued and overwhelmed. We were unable to have a discussion about medical therapies for her MS. Although she initially stated that she did not wish to pursue medical therapy for MS, she agreed to come back to the clinic this Thursday to talk about the topic. We encouraged her to consider delaying the use of a wheelchair. I would love to. I want to strangle them when they say that to me. She emphasized that she was not using the wheelchair due to her MS, but rather due to her pain and EDS. We did our best to empathize with her situation. Hey, by the way, empathy is when you know, when you relate somehow to how someone feels. Like, what you're feeling for me is like pity or something. It's really not helpful. It's not empathy. We refer Kristen to the Ottawa Hospital Multidisciplinary Pain Clinic. That's awesome. I've been there before. We'll go through it again then. We would have advised her that the wait list is long. However, we feel she would benefit from a multidisciplinary assessment, including occupational therapy, physical therapy, psychology, and social work, as well as the opinions of a pain physician. This will take a couple years, and they're probably going to put me through the ringer there, and I'm probably going to hate them there too. But I'm glad that I have the referral, because I need whatever the fuck I can get. We will get previous records from other specialists. Zacon. Oh, I shouldn't say who that is. Well, I will, because he's awesome. My neuro-ophthalmologist is like a really awesome doctor, but he's not taking new patients and he's close to retirement. Guess it doesn't matter if I say what his... It's Dr. Zacon anyway. He's just been one of the only awesome doctors I've seen for my eyes. So thank God for that guy. But I'll just end this there. So I think, this is my second time reading that, and I feel a little better because at least, yeah, I can take what I can out of it that's good. I can reframe it, but there are mistakes. Namely about the way that EDS affects me as opposed to MS. And of course, it's hard to disentangle the two things, but I am quite aware that my peripheral neuropathy is from EDS. So, and it's okay if they don't get that, I guess. But I think they really shouldn't give people a hard time with mobility devices, because the way that has all happened for me, it's like I can't even get to my appointments because my walker is becoming so hard for me to push. It's causing so much pain and subluxations in my shoulders and collarbones and arms that I can't And I say I can't, and they're like, don't say you can't. That's a bad attitude. Like, that, fuck you. When a disabled person says they can't. And I know they don't even think I'm disabled because I don't look disabled. And they don't like that word. And they don't like wheelchairs. And during this appointment, this neurologist said to me that people with wheelchairs don't drive. And they're going to take my license away. And, like, I corrected her and said, yes, they do. But they have an obvious disdain for people who use mobility devices. And the thing with EDS is there's probably a lot of people with this who are sitting at home stuck because they're really struggling to get around and they can't get to their appointments. And that's kind of the main thing. I just need to be able to get to my appointments. I can't even get myself to the hospital because the hospital parking lot is this huge structure, multi-levels, and it's a long walk to the MS clinic from the parking lot. So I've tried to take my walker and get myself there, but I've just put myself in such horrible shape and injured myself so much trying to do that because I end up pushing the walker over bumpy ground and stuff outside, and that's when I encounter problems. I'm kind of okay pushing it inside on an extremely flat surface if there's no bumps to a point. But so what I've been doing is I make sure my mom's in town, and then I take my walker, she drops me off at the door, she goes to park, we meet in the lobby of the hospital, and then we walk up together, and then they tell me I shouldn't use the walker. And I mean, I know they didn't say right straight out you shouldn't use a walker, but they did say to me and on the report you shouldn't be using a wheelchair. And it's not my idea, you know. This is just what has happened to me. And you guys really don't get it. And EDS causes extreme joint instability, and today I can't tell you the amount of times I have gone and taken a step and then just like subluxed something, and then I have to put everything back, so it involves like another weird movement where I have to straighten my leg, and I need a cane if I'm outside. If I'm inside, I use the wall. I don't know how many subluxations I've had today. It's about 2 o'clock. I think I've had at least 50 in my arms, my knees, my ankles, and that's just today. Sometimes it's hips. Anyway, my joints are super unstable, and it's super painful, and that's EDS, and I do have weakness now in at least one arm and both legs, so, you know, detectable neurological weakness, so it's exacerbating that instability because I don't have that strength I used to have. Like, my body was relying on that muscle strength, and then it gave out a bit. So my body's not really adjusting that well. I'm looking into other treatments, but this is where I'm at, I guess. Just a lot of medical trauma, feeling kind of isolated. Luckily, I got an awesome boyfriend, and my mom's super supportive, and when, you know, she's limited because she lives far away. Everyone's limited with what they can do. I'm just trying not to feel this. I'm trying to feel some sense of hope, and I think the best thing for me right now is just give myself some compassion and slowly work through what I want to change this report to say, because I can't have some of these things following me around, like the fibromyalgia thing and the we encourage Kristen not to get a wheelchair thing. Like, those things are screwing me over. Maybe it's not as bad as I think. But yeah, it sucks. I don't want a wheelchair. Like, I need one. Like, it's not like some fetish I have. Like, what the fuck? I don't know what people think. I don't care what people think anymore. I'm just kind of dying to get out of the house. I used my wheelchair on Saturday. We went to a museum and Cameron pushed me, and it was awesome. But I got sore because the wheelchair's not built for me, and my neck got sore from craning around to look at things. But I couldn't have done it with a walker. I couldn't. I tried to do that museum with a walker before, and it didn't work. So the wheelchair does enable me to do so many things. It really already has. I've had it for like 4 years. I bought it off someone whose relative had died, so it belonged to someone who no longer lives. And anyway, I'm grateful, even though it doesn't fit me. It has saved my butt a lot of times, and for real, there are many times when I am standing and I just can't do it anymore, and I need to sit. And when there's nowhere to sit, it's not good. Like, that's why I didn't pursue a master's after my undergrad, because I need a mobility device. Okay? So I'm still stuck in this situation, and it's been years. And now I have MS, and it seems like that's just giving them more credence to tell me not to take care of my EDS, which is so confusing. And that being said, okay, the other thing that's really bothering me, I may as well just get it out, is, yeah, my dysautonomia. And I'm happy they wrote that on my report, because I didn't notice that last time. So it says postural orthostatic tachycardia on the report. That's great, because that's the only Canadian report I have that says that on it. But it affects me every day, and I take propranolol. But today I just couldn't leave the house till 1 p.m. or something, because it was the way this is affecting me. It's my heart jumps when I stand up, and then my heart rate is fast, and then I'm sweating buckets, and it makes me nauseated, and it makes me feel like I have to go to the bathroom suddenly, because part of it is it affects your digestive system. So I feel like I have to go to the bathroom, and then I'll try to go to the bathroom, and then I'll almost throw up. So it's like this weird thing that goes on for a couple hours sometimes in the morning, where, especially if it's hot outside and the temperature's just changed. Anyway, it's just really hard to plan things, because the weird stuff my tummy's doing, and not being able to get any food in it, and not being able to get any nutrition, because I can't get anything down. I got down a bottle of Boost this morning. It was a real struggle, but I did it. So I gotta take vitamins as soon as I can get solid food in. I'll take my vitamins. But it's hotter out now, so I'm having trouble with more hot. I'm having trouble with words. Okay, whoa, 27 minutes. Nobody's gonna watch this. Okay, well, I don't even give a fuck. Thanks, bye.